Hello student, I hope you all are doing well. This video lecture is a continuation of social processes. Social processes which leads to negative result is called dissociative processes. These social processes result in disintegration of society. These are known as disjunctive social processes. Competition and conflict are some example of dissociative social processes. Competition is one of the dissociative form of social processes. It is actually the most fundamental form of social struggle. It occurs whenever there is an insufficient supply of anything that human beings desire, insufficient in the sense of all cannot have as much of it as they wish. When demand outturns supply, people do not compete for sunshine, air, and gifts for nature because they are abundant in supply, but people compete for power, name, fame, glory, status, money, luxurious, and other things which are not easily available. Since scarcity is in the sense of inevitable condition of social life, competition of some sort or the other is found in all society. Like example, there are normally more people who want job than there are the job available. Hence, there is a competition for them. There are the few definitions available for the term competition. According to the Sutherland, Woodward, and Maxwell, competition is an impersonal, unconscious, continuous struggle between individual and group for satisfaction which, because of their limited supply, all may not have. According to business, competition is the striving of two or more persons for the same goal, which is limited so that all cannot share it. In short, we can say that competition is an interaction without social contract. By analyzing various definitions, the following characteristics of competition can be drawn. The first one is it is universal. Competition is found in every society and in every age. It is found in every group. It is one of the aspects of struggle which is universal, not only in human society but also in the plant and animal world. The second one is it is impersonal. The competitors are not in contact and do not know one another. They do not compete with each other on a personal level. The attention of all the competitors is fixed on the goal or the reward they aim at. Due to this reason, competition is known as impersonal affair. It is an unconscious activity. Competition takes places on the unconscious level. Achievement of goal or the reward is regarded as the main object of competitor. For example, the student of a particular class get engaged to secure the highest marks in the final examination. They do not conceive of their classmate as a competitor. Student may no doubt be conscious of the competition and much concerned about marks. Their attention is focused on the reward or goal rather than on the competitor. And the fourth characteristic of competition is it is a continuous process. Competition never comes to an end. It is an intermittent process. It is a continuous. As goods are short in supply, and there must be a competition among people for their procurement. The desire for status, name, fame, glory, power, and wealth is an ever increasing degree makes competition a continuous process in a human society. Competition can be divided into many categories or forms. The first one is economic competition. Economic competition is found in the field of economic activity. It means a race between the individual and the group to achieve certain material goods. Thus, economic competition takes place in the field of production, consumption, distribution, and exchange of wealth. For example, a competition between two industrial sectors for the production of goods. The second one is cultural competition. It occurs when two or more cultures try to establish their superiority over others. This type of competition leads to cultural diversities in society. When one culture try to establish the supremacy over the other culture and give birth to the cultural competition. The third type of competition is a social competition. This would be found in the modern society. This is a basic feature of the present day world. For acquiring a high status, popularity, name and fame in the society, people compete with each other. Social competition play a vital role in the determination of individual status in society. The next form of social competition is a racial competition. Racial competition is found among different races of the world. It takes place when one race tries to establish its superiority over the other. The whole human society is divided into a number of races, and there always arises an intense competition among them. Political competition is the next form of the competition. In all democratic countries, competition is inevitable among the various political parties and even between the different members of a political party to obtain political power. In India, competition between Congress party and BJP for the political power is a bright example of political competition. Beside the above two types, there are the two other types of competition such as personal and impersonal competition. Personal competitions means a rivalry between the people. It occur among the two opponents on their personal level. In this competition, the competition are well known to each other personally. Competition between the two students in a classroom or competition between the two players in a particular game is an example of the personal competition. In-person competition, on the other hand, take place among the groups, not among the individual. In this competition, the competitor compete with one another not on personal level, but as a member of groups such as business, social, and cultural groups. Competition is considered to be a very healthy and a necessary social process. It is indispensable in a social life. It has played a major role in the survival of human beings. It is a basic law of life. It is extremely dynamic. It performs many useful functions in society. It performs both positive and negative function. There are the few merits of the competition. The first one is a competition assign right individual to place in the social system. Competition determines who is to perform what function. The division of labor and specialization of function in modern life are the product of competition. Competition motivates others to excel or to obtain recognition or to win an award. Competition stimulates achievement by lifting the level of aspiration for which some individuals work harder for success. Third one is healthy and fair competition is considered essential for economic, social, as well as technological and scientific growth. People make their best effort when they find themselves in competition. It is competition which has made invention and discovery in different fields possible. Beside the above merits of competition, there are also some demerits of competition. The first one is competition may create emotional disturbance. It may develop unfavorable attitude among the person or group towards one another. Unlimited competition in a capitalistic economy give rise to monopoly. It throws the real need of the people into the waste and causes starvation in the midst of plenty. It may cause fear, insecurity, instability, and panic. The third one is competition, if it is uncontrollable, may lead to the conflict which are considered hostile to group solidarity or cohesion. Sometimes it may become violent, involving unethical and unfair means to divert the competitor's attention from sportsmanship, which is outcome of the fair competition. Therefore, competition should always be healthy and fair. Conflict is one of the dissociative or disintegrative social processes. It is a universal and fundamental social process in human relations. Conflict arises only when the attention of the competitor is diverted from the object of competition to themselves. It is a process of seeking reward by eliminating or weakening the competitor. It is a deliberate attempt to oppose, resist, or coerce the will of another or the other. Conflict is a competition in its occasional, personal, and hostile form. Conflict is also goal oriented, but unlike cooperation and competition, it seeks to capture its goals by making ineffective the other who seek them. Conflict may be defined according to the A.W. Green. Conflict is a deliberate attempt to oppose, resist, or coerce the will of another or others. According to Gillen and Gillen, conflict is a social process in which the individual or group seek their end by directly challenging the antagonistic by violence or threat of the violence. Conflict is an important form of social process. It is a part of human society. The main characteristic of conflict are as follows. The first one, it is a universal process. Conflict is an ever-present process. It exists at all places and at all time. The causes of universality of conflict is the increase of man's selfishness and his materialistic tendency. The second one is it is personal activity. Conflict is personal and its aim is to eliminate the opposite party. The defeat of the opponent is the main objective in conflict. When competition is personalized, it becomes conflict. The third one, it is a conscious activity. Conflict is a deliberate attempt to oppose or resist the will of other. It aims at causing loss or injury to the person or a group. The fourth one is it is an intermittent process. There is no continuity in conflict. It is a occasional, it like continuity. It is not as continuous as competition and cooperation. It may take place all of the sudden and may come to an end after some time. If the conflict become continuous, no society can sustain itself. So it is an intermittent process. Conflict expresses itself in thousands of ways and various degree and over every range of human contact. McLever and Page have distinguished two fundamental types of conflict. The first one is direct conflict, when a person or a group injure, thwart, or destroy the opponent in order to secure a goal or reward, that is called a direct conflict. In indirect conflict, attempts are made by individual or group to frustrate the effort of their opponent in an indirect manner. For example, when two manufacturers go on lowering the price of their commodities till both of them are declared insolvent, indirect conflict in that case take place. Georg Simmel has also distinguished four types of conflict. The first one is war. When all the effort to resolve the conflict between the two states fail, war finally breaks out as it is the only alternative to the peaceful means of solution. The second one is Freud or the functional strife does not take place among the state of nation. It usually occurs among the member of the society. This kind of strife or the trouble is known as an intra-group but not the intergroup conflict. The third one is litigation. Litigation is a form of conflict which is judicial in nature. To reduce their grievances and to get justice, people take resources to legal means in the court of law. The fourth one is conflict of impersonal ideals. It is a conflict carried on by the individual not for themselves but for an ideal. For example, the conflict carried on by the communist and capitalist to prove that their own system can bring in a better world order. Another eminent sociologist, Gillen and Gillen, had mentioned five types of conflict: personal, racial, class, political, and international conflict. Personal conflict is a conflict between two persons within the same group. Racial conflict is a conflict between the two races like whites and Negro in South Africa. The class conflict is a conflict between the two classes such as poor and rich or the exploiter or the exploited. Conflict between the two political parties for the power is a political conflict, and international conflict is a conflict between two nations such as between India and Pakistan over Kashmir issue. Beside the above, conflict can also be the following type. The first one is a latent and overt type. Sometimes individuals or a group do not want to express their feeling of conflict due to some reason. The unexpressed or the hidden conflict is known as a latent conflict. And when the individual or a group feel bold enough to take advantage of a particular situation, they express their feeling of conflict openly. And such open conflict is known as a overt conflict. The second type of conflict is called the personal or the corporate conflict. Personal conflict uh, arises among people within a group. It occurs due to the various personal motives like hostility, envy, etc. Corporate conflict, on the other hand, arises among groups within a society or between two societies in both intergroup and intragroup conflict. For example, reciprocal rights, communal rights, war between nations, labor management conflicts are the example of the corporate conflict. Conflict is both harmful as well as useful for the society. There are some positive functions of conflict. It promotes the solidarity and fellow feeling. The conflict which promotes the solidarity and fellow feeling within the groups are and societies is known as a corporate conflict. This conflict tend to increase the moral and promote the solidarity of the in-group threatened by the out-group. The second one is it enlarges the victorious group. The victory won through the process of conflict enlarges the victorious group. The victorious group either increase its power or incorporates new territory and population. In this way, conflict makes possible the emergence of the large group. The third one is it leads to redefinition of the value system. Generally, the parties which are in conflict with each other give up the old value system and accept new ones when the conflict is over. In this way, conflict may give rise to the new types of cooperation and accommodation. The fourth one is it is act as semantic factor in the establishment of intimate relationship. For example, the end of the verbal conflict between the lovers, friend and married couples lead to the establishment of relations which are now more intimate than before. The fifth one, it changed the relative status of the conflicting parties. For example, after the Second World War, both Germany and Japan lost their status as great power. China today has become a leading Asian power, and United States has merged as a superpower. The negative role of conflict are mentioned below. The first one is it is cause social disorder. War, a type of conflict, may destroy the lives and property of which are involved in it. It may bring incalculable damage and suffering to a number of people. The modern mode of warfare, which can destroy millions of people and vast amount of properties within a few minutes, has brought new fear and anxiety for the mankind. The second one, it disrupts social unity and cohesion. Conflict is regarded as an antithesis to cooperation. It disrupts normal channel of cooperation. It is a costly way of settling dispute. The results of intergroup conflict are largely negative. It violates the national integration in a greater way, which may lead to the disorganization of the society. And the last one, it causes a lots of psychological and moral damages. It makes people psychologically weak, spoil the mental peace of men. It may even make the people to become inhuman. In case conflict does not come to a quick end, it makes a conflicting individual very weak and apprehensive about losing something. Thank you so much for watching this video. So this is all about the dissociative process, which is one of the part of the social processes. For any query or any suggestion, you have to write on a comment box. So wish you a very good luck for your future.